Our next topic is going to be a little lighter than marijuana. It's VR headsets. Um, I'm pretty sure most people know about the Oculus Rift, which was bought by Facebook for I think it was like $1 billion or something like that. Now you have competitors from Sony. I think there's is called Morpheus. There's also Google Cardboard. So it seems like everybody's trying to get in onto the virtual reality type of environment. So what do you think? Do you think this is a fad, or do you think this is the start of something big?
Well, the thing is that I haven't seen any actual production and usage as of yet. I mean, I've seen one here, one there, but not any particular system. No, I definitely think that they're probably going towards something that they can bring to people's home and have them utilize it instead of maybe watching TV or playing video games in a traditional manner. I think if they can actually provide a virtual reality world that you and I and other people think of, where we can actually control our thoughts.
Well, no,
you
no, no.
know
We're very far away from that. This is not at all where they are at whatsoever. This is purely a visual thing where you can move your head and you could view things. There's no feel to it. It does not attach to your brain. It doesn't read your thoughts or anything like that. So something like that we're very far away from, and no one, like, literally none of the companies have even mentioned anything in the works of anything like that. I mean, right now they're literally just trying to come up with something that they could get to the public that will just be an extra visual way of viewing things or playing video games. That's basically where they are at this moment. And again, and that product is still not even out.
Can you
So
imagine sitting down in your chair and turning on a game where you ride your roller coaster and actually feels like the real thing? I mean, that to me would be a little scary, but at the same time, it will get you over your fear of heights and roller coasters. And the other thing is, it's much safer. It'll feel like the real thing, and you won't get stuck upside down in
sure.
Magic Mountain.
Right, that's true. And the thing is, for me, the first time I heard of it, I wasn't very much excited about it because I kind of thought it was something that was similar to what they did years ago. And if you remember, it was done pretty poorly back then. But I thought, well, okay, well, like video games, okay, I could see a little bit where you might want to move your head, but most video games, like the biggest games like Call of Duty, I don't know if that would be a better game with a VR headset, because I don't know if you want to move your head constantly and move the controller at the same time. But if you're interested in like scary movies or scary games, I think the VR headset could be one of the greatest inventions for you. But until recently, I wasn't really excited about it until I had this revelation, and that was this: VR headsets are going to be revolutionary in this one aspect, and that is sports. Imagine going to a basketball game, okay? Well, no, I'm sorry, not imagine going, but putting it on and putting on the headset, excuse me, putting on the headset and sitting basically courtside at a basketball game. You look to your right, you'll see Phil, well, not Phil Jackson anymore, but you see the coaches, you see the players, you see basically you have a courtside seat, a realistic courtside seat where you could look around, where you could look up, you could see everything, and it looks like you're there. That would be, for a sports fan, that would be amazing. Or imagine like the biggest fight that just recently happened, Pacquiao versus Mayweather. Imagine, like the first view is your ringside, and you're sitting there, and that's a nice view. But imagine with the press of a button, you are in the point of view of Mayweather, and you see Pacquiao in front of you, and he's bobbing and weaving, and he's throwing punches, and it looks like he's actually fighting you. And with another press, you're Pacquiao, and you see Mayweather, and he's weaving around, and he's moving so quickly. That would, for a sports fan, I think that would, it's a must buy. I mean, I think that pretty much if you're any kind of sports fan, you're most likely going to buy that just for the experience of watching sports.
But so you're referring to live sports? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, live sports, absolutely. Live sports. The only thing they have to do is set up a camera. Well, not necessarily a camera, but cameras that capture wide angles, and you could have. Courtside, you could capture everything. So you're literally sitting there, you're looking around, and you see everything. You see basketball players running in front of you. It's like it'll look like you're there. It's not going to be like virtual where you could touch them or anything, but it's going to seem like you're there, and you can move your head around and view whatever you want. That's an experience that I would absolutely pay for.
Wouldn't it also be cool if you can actually put yourself into like Pacquiao's shoe and fight with Mayweather as the fight is going on? That'll be weird, but that'll be pretty cool,
right? No, that's absolutely true. You're thinking about video game, and video games, I could see that, but at the same time, I could see that getting somewhat boring at points because they have to create the physics that will work with that, and that's really, really difficult. But to actually watch sports in a completely new way. Now, if you're a sports fan, I mean, it's amazing what you could possibly do with it. Have literally the best viewing angle
just
money can buy.
Pretty much having courtside seats for the same price as everyone else. And that would be amazing because you don't have to.
You don't have to have.
But it will be one price. It won't be like $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah. Meaning you could pay for a live game. Well, technically, if you have cable, I mean, they might just throw it in and go like, "Hey, we just set up a camera in there, so it's not really a big thing for us to do this." And it'll bring more fans. Imagine like people who are like, "I don't know, I've never been to a game. I'm not really that excited." And everyone says, if you would just go to a live game, it'll make you a fan. And that is very true. So imagine, like feeling like you're there. Imagine where if you're a hockey fan, imagine they put camera there and then you could actually, look to your right and you see players on the bench, as they get out, you see them. You actually see them like getting up. You see them talking to each other. You see them, it would be an experience that I think most people would be, would absolutely go for. So that's where I think, as long as they go there, I haven't heard them doing that yet, but I'm just hoping that they realize that is a huge, huge place where they can make a ton of money.
That's true. I want to take a little further than that because you got into live sports. What about live combat, like U.S. airplanes bombing Syria or special forces going into Iraq, raiding houses? Like, can you imagine if you could be entrenched in that type of environment? That would be very, very cool. But at the same time,
I don't know about
it's
that.
a little messed up.
Well, yeah, you're
participating.
You're
participating in killing people.
No. Yeah, that's something that the government isn't going to do. All right, today at 3:00, join us as our SEAL Team 6 is going to go into this compound. Watch them kill these people. It's like, no, I can't see that happening. But I think for video games, it's definitely going towards a video game aspect right now, and it's going towards like movies right now. I'm not exactly sure how much I'm interested in watching a movie with that, unless it's a scary movie. I just don't see like a Schwarzenegger movie where I'm like, oh, that's really cool.
Well, if you're in the movie,
remember, it's not a video game, so you're not really there.
Well, meaning like you're in the actual environment and you're looking from a different perspective than you would normally, so you feel like you're actually there as everything transpires. So I don't know, that could be very interesting.
I'm not exactly sure what you mean by you're there. Where am I?
You're in the environment. Well, let's say you're in the jungle. Maybe you're like hiding in the bushes and looking through the bushes.
Am I playing one of the characters?
No, you're not playing.
You're
No, you're not playing one of the characters. You're pretty much.
So basically, I'm like, the camera. I'm
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But if I'm the camera, I don't know if what's the difference between me being the camera and me being just watching a regular TV on my 60-inch screen.
Because you're pretty much in the 4D world. You know what I mean? You see everything happening as if you're actually there, pretty much like you described the NBA game. You know what I mean? so everything around you is moving, and you actually see it. So it's pretty much the same thing as what you said. It's kind of hard to envision it, but
Yeah,
once you do
I'm not
it,
exactly
it's
sure about
pretty
that.
cool.
I'm not exactly sure about that because I feel like you're not going to, well, you're still going to want to see the most important things that are happening. Imagine if you turn away and you miss the time when he shoots that guy.
Yeah,
You're
well,
like,
don't
wait,
don't
what
turn away.
happened?
Don't
What?
turn away when that
Well,
happens. You know
but
what I
no,
mean?
but you don't know. That's the thing. You're saying you're in an environment where they're in, and well, the good thing about watching it on TV, like a regular video, is that they would change the camera angle right then and there to show you that that guy was shot. Whereas if you have a static point of view where you're turning your head, but I don't know, like he shot somebody, but I don't know who. I don't know if that necessarily
Well,
works all
because
that well.
you can play out different scenarios in the sense like, okay, you can look
Yeah,
at it from one angle, from another angle. You know what I mean?
But then you're talking about more video game like, not really movies, because most people don't want to watch movies over and over again to see different kind of things play out. I mean,
I don't know. Some people may.
Right. But imagine, right, you're talking about the movie that you love, the great movie that you want to see over and over. Okay, but what if it's not? What if it's the movie you just want to see once and that's it? Like, hey, I saw it, I thought it was decent, I don't want to watch it again. But basically what you're saying is I'm have to rewatch it over and over again to find out what actually happened because I might have missed certain parts.
Obviously, you don't have to do it that way. You don't have to watch it that way. It's really up to you. If it's a blockbuster, big budget, special effects, you probably want to see, the different angles that the action scenes occur. So in that or even in a scary movie to look at it from a different perspective.
Scary movies absolutely work with us. Scary movies, the environment of being scared, the fact that you can't turn away from it. I think those things for video games and for movies, I think are going to work. For action movies, I still want to see if they're going to do that. I want to see how they're going to do it and how they're going to make it better than if I was to watch on a regular TV, or better than even just the regular old style, quote unquote, 3D movies. So that one I'm not really sold on, but I really wish sooner than later they do actually do the live sports. That I think is something that would do really, really well for them.
But I'll give you one that you would definitely not say no to.
Okay.
And that is pornography. Can you imagine looking from the different perspectives and angles and different shots?
That I already
mean?
actually heard of. They're already working on, and I like porn. The positive thing, if you want a technology to work, if porn is there, it most likely will work. That's a fact. But the thing is, I'm still curious if it's something that's going to, meaning if they don't go the sports way and they go, let's say, movies and video games. I'm curious if it will become a fad type thing where 3D became this new thing, everybody got to have it and everything. I'm just hoping that with VR headsets, because it is a gateway to get into real virtual reality. Well, that's weird to say, real virtual reality.
Gateway drug.
No, well, sort of, in a sense that if this does really well, meaning if there's a lot of money in this, they're going to push this technology further. Meaning they're going to make it so that sooner or later you're going to be able to feel things. Sooner or later you're going to be able to do things in it which are going to feel like they're real. And that's the way that I think most people will be like, oh, that would be great.
That's what I want. I want to feel things. I want to be able to experience things.
You're again about the porn thing, aren't you?
Well, with porn and other things, you know what I mean, like touch animals that maybe I won't be able to touch in real life.
That's
you know
just
what
gross.
I mean? Gross for some, but happy for other people. You know what I mean? It's just something that would be very, very exciting.
No, real virtual. I keep on saying real virtual reality, but if they're actually able
pretty much
to,
what you're saying is as if you're in the Matrix, the movie. You know what I mean?
Yes, exactly. Where basically, if we're able to control that to a point where you're in an environment that you can do anything in, whether you want to be Superman or you want to be the president or you want to do anything, that's an environment that I think would be awesome. And as long as this VR headsets, as long as they start doing really well and making a lot of money, that's the direction we're going to go. If they go bust with all of these companies trying to do this, if they go bust, that means we're that much further away. That means in the next maybe 20, 30 years, somebody else will pick it up and do something else, so something new with it, and only then will they get back to it. But if this takes off, we might, start seeing virtual reality aspects maybe in the next 10, 20, 30 years. We would actually might see something more realistic to that effect.
I don't know. I think we'll see something a little sooner than that, but that's just my opinion. I think they already have the technology, but they haven't worked out all the details yet. That's just my opinion.
For somebody who follows this kind of stuff, I've never seen anything like that of what you're thinking exists, but that's basically where we're at this point. Okay, so next thing is our last topic of the day is, I should say, debates. All the debates basically that happened with CNBC, CNN, Fox News, the Republican and the Democrat debates. So let me ask you, what do you think? Do you think that with all the debates going on, and right now the big thing is the Republicans, most of the Republicans are complaining about the debate